This is 2 Minutes Together, a ministry of Central Lutheran Church, Eugene, Oregon. I'm Pastor Ben. This week, in our epistle reading, we have a reading from the book of James. And the book of James, at the end of the first chapter, uses a term that is used very infrequently in the Bible. It's the term religion. And it says that true religion that is pure and undefiled is caring for orphans and widows in their distress. I want to unpack that verse a little bit and look at an aspect of it for our devotion. Because the word religion there, threskeia, doesn't really mean what we mean by religion, meaning we have this concept of a world religion that includes a lot of stuff. Threskeia really is the term for worship. How do you worship God? And the normal way they would have envisioned worshiping God is probably the normal way we envision worshiping God, where I am right now, here around the communion rail, in an assembly, in a worship service. And that's what the book of James, I think, is trying to shock them about. It said real worship, pure worship, undefiled worship is caring for orphans and widows. And understand that in first century Judaism, they absolutely cared for orphans and widows, but they would not have called it worship. That's what the book of James is doing. Martin Luther had a term for worship that is also different from ours. It was called Gottesdienst, which is the German word that we kind of translate as divine service, but there's no good translation because it meant two things: the way we serve God and the way God serves us. It's the same at once. It's similar in the ancient world. Religion or worship was very much ritual action. And so when the book of James says, here is the worship that you know is really worship, caring for the poor and the needy. I don't think the book of James is saying there's no other forms of worship, but it's saying that which you know is pure and undefiled. That which you go into the space and you say, I'm serving God and God's serving me, is when I'm caring for someone in need. And that's probably a surprising element. Normally you would think, well, here one is serving the person in need, but then if it's worship, it's also, this is serving you as well. I'm serving God, God's serving me. And that's what the book of James is saying. That's what hospitality is all about. That's what caring for those in need is all about. And I think that's a very helpful reminder for us for the expansiveness of how we relate with God and the way God relates with us. This has been 2 Minutes Together. I'm Pastor Ben.